What's happening? What's happening? And Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It's no need for me to show my face. Y'all already know what my face look like. You know I be in the place. But anyway, I got this little message though, for you. And take out of it what you can and what you will, and if you know what you don't, like, spit out the bones. You know what I mean? So you're gonna start at John 8:8-1. Yeshua went unto the Mount of Olives. And early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him. And he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they said unto her, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou? So now you got to understand, these people are coming to the word, to Yahushua HaMashiach, who is the word. He knows the word back and forward. He is the word, you know what I mean? And they're trying to question him, to kind of try to put him into a trick bag, let's say that, or to discredit him that he is who he say he is. And so they said, tempting him that they might have to accuse him, but Yahusha stopped them and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it began being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning the eldest even unto the last. And Yahusha was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Yahusha had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are thou those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Adonai. And Yahusha said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. So now I'm gonna take you to the Old Testament where it is. So we're gonna go to Leviticus 20:10, because you need to know what he wrote in the sand. The Old Testament is done away with, and here this is why he wrote it in the wrote it in the sand, and he didn't speak on it, because some people are visual. So he just wrote it in the sand so that they can see it, because obviously they don't read the Torah. You see what I'm saying? Which is like a lot of people in these churches nowadays. They don't read the Torah. They just go to church and just believe anything that come out these pastors' mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then they have a problem with someone when he brings the truth forward. So and this is why her accusers got up and left, because they were the ones that was sleeping with this woman. So according to the law, they were deserving of death too. You see what I'm saying? Because if the woman got caught in an adulterous act, then she was to be stoned, and so was the man that she got caught in the act with. For everyone that curses, verse 10, Leviticus 20, verse 10, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. See, these are the things that they don't teach you. But anyway, as you can see, these men were supposed to be stoned too. So, and this is the reason why these men, her accusers, were there no more. John 8:10, and when Yahusha had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where art thou thine accusers? Have no man condemned you? Again she said, No man, Adonai. And Yahusha said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. It's just like, it's a lot of people out here, we talk about each other and we say things about each other, but we all living in sin. And what, it trips me out, you know what I'm saying, when people try to call, these females hoes, or try to call, these men dogs and all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because what you got to understand is that, you know, a lot of us haven't been taught how to be, didn't have a mother and a father, or a father and a mother to show us how to properly to have a proper relationship between a man and a woman. We didn't have balance. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of us grew up, doing things, being promiscuous. You see what I'm saying? Because we didn't have a father or mother. Nobody taught us about the birds and bees and the bees. We was just kicked out of the nest, down onto the floor, onto the bedrock, and left for the predators. You see what I'm saying? And so, a lot of us got preyed on by people. You know what I'm saying? And so we've experienced things, and now that we have gotten older, and we're changing our lives, and we're conforming to the word, being ye transformed and conformed by the word, because the word says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see what I'm saying? And it says, to be ye not conformed to this world, but that's what it say. Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the word, basically. You know what I'm saying? I can bring it up, but I don't want to do all of that. So, it's important for you to have compassion and mercy on people. And this is what you see going on with Yahusha, with this woman, because you have to understand at that time, uh, 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 Jerusalem, or Jerusalem, was under Roman occupation. So they were captive, being held captive. You see what I'm saying? All their rulers, when you look at Augustus Caesar, when you look at Herod, King Herod, you know what I mean? They had enacted laws and things of that nature to keep Yasharel from really keeping the covenant. And then it didn't help that they brought in these, that the seat of the priest in the Sadducees, which is basically your essence and your scribes, were for sale. So these people that were in these places that that were teaching the oral law, or the Talmud, you see what I'm saying, were teaching it wrong. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't teaching the Torah. They was teaching the oral law according to men, and this is why Yahusha always was in conflict with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because they didn't teach according to Torah. They taught according to their own way, to the way of man. You see what I'm saying? But that's not even here and there, but that's in there. Somebody can eat that. The woman that was plagued with the 7 demons in the Bible. Where to find the story of the woman possessed with the 7 demons in the Bible? And so now we're going to go to Luke 8:2. But we're going to start at verse 1. And it came to pass afterwards that he went throughout every city and village, preaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom of Elohim, which is the good news, the Bashor. They call it the New Testament. And the 12 were with him, and a certain woman which had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went seven devils. This is the same woman that they brought before Hamashiach to stone to death, because they were trying to stone her. She wasn't even really. They really wasn't trying to stone her. They was after Yahusha. That's who they were really after. So you see right there that you know, uh, Mary Magdalene had 7 spirits in her. And so when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places. This goes for a woman too, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he says, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with him 7 other spirits. This is the same thing that happened to Mary Magdalene. And this is why I'm showing you that, because line up on precept on precept, line up on line. This is why I'm showing you this, so you can connect the dots and really see. And they entered in and dwelled there, and the last state of the man or woman is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. That's why it's so important for a man to submit his will to Elohim. And that's why it's so important for a woman to submit her will to a man, because that is the order. You know what I mean? And until you find that, man, you submit yourself to the word of the Most High, which is Yahusha, to his Torah. That's who you submit yourself to. But you know, a lot of people, you know, they got too much time on their hands. An idle mind is the devil's workplace, workshop. You know, people be having too much time on their hands. You know, they want to go out and go to the club and go do this and go do that and go, and instead of, you know, spending time with the Most High, you know. And don't get me wrong, we all been there. You know what I'm saying? See, this is what Yahusha was. Yahusha was the mercy. That's why on the temple it was a mercy seat. Because you got to show mercy sometimes. You can't always, you know what I'm saying, try to condemn people to hell because of what they do. You know what I'm saying? And then call yourself chosen, or say you are chosen. You are chosen. That's why I don't look down on people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know what I'm saying, you know, if a hoe ever came to me, what y'all consider to be a hoe, you know what I'm saying, came to me, I would accept it, because I don't look down on your past. And Yahusha don't look down on your past. You see what I'm saying? But that don't go for, that's only for our nation, because we have been spoiled. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't apply to anybody else. You know, I'm not speaking for no other nation. You know, because we've been taught wrong. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. You know, so if a woman has had a promiscuous life, you know, and she chooses to change her ways, and she chooses to submit to the Torah, to the word, and then chooses to submit to a man, you know, I'm gonna accept it, because I'm gonna tell you like this, player, your thing ain't even big enough. You know what I'm saying? Babies come from there, so you can't be telling me you stretching it out. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, the problem is that, you know, genetically, you know, when a woman sleeps with a lot of men, you know, she becomes encoded with his DNA. You know, that's how soul ties are created. You know, because his DNA is enlarged in her brain and in her marrow. You see what I'm saying? And this is the same woman right here. You know, this is Mary Magdalene again. This is what they don't show you, because you got to understand that the epistles of the brochure. And behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner, when she knew that Yahusha sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment, and stood at his feet behind him weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with their ornaments. So the word says that where your heart is, so shall your treasure be. So this woman's heart was with Yahusha, because Yahusha, despite all her affirmities and all the things that people were saying about her and calling her whores and saying she wasn't no good and this and all of that, he had mercy upon her. He forgave her of her sins. He didn't look down on her. He healed her bipolar, schizophrenic, and all of that stuff she was suffering from. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Now, when the Pharisees which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is that toucheth him, for she is a sinner. So basically they was calling her a whore. You know what I'm saying? She was a sinner. She was a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And Yahusha answering said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto you. So now he finna correct Simon, since y'all want to, cast stones and hide your hand. And he said, Master, say on. There was a certain creditor which had 2 debts. Now, a lot of y'all got more sins than a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The one had 500 pence and the other 50. And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which of them will love him most? Simon answered and said, I suppose that he, to whom he forgave most, and said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged. And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thine house, into your house. Thou gavest me no water. You didn't have no hospitality. You disrespectful. You didn't have no hospitality. You invited me to your house, but you didn't have no hospitality. You didn't ask me if I was hungry, if you know what I'm saying, if I needed anything to drink, nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is the state of the world today. Nobody has any hospitality anymore unless it's for some type of contrived reason. You see what I'm saying? Unless it's, to manipulate you or deceive you or put themselves in a position to get over on you. Thou gavest me no kiss, so meaning you showed me no hospitality. But this woman, since the time I came in, have not ceased to kiss my feet. You know what I'm saying? She's steadily kissing on his feet, bragging about his past, how, you know what I'm saying, how he delivered her from her demons. My head with oil thou didst not anoint. You didn't even anoint my head with oil. My scalp all dry. You didn't even, say anything to extol me or to edify me at all. But this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven. For she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. And that's the problem with a lot of y'all. Because see, y'all got this state of mind right here. Wherefore I say unto you, to thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven. For she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. Because you only been forgiven a little. You only go to him and ask him for forgiveness for certain things. You know what I'm saying? So you only forgiven for a little, but you don't did way more than you been forgiven for. Because the sin ain't always for what you do. You could be slandering somebody. You could be practicing witchcraft, manipulation. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of inner sins, which is what Paul dealt with. That a lot of people do. They think because they eat a wafer, you know what I'm saying, and drink some juice, that they doing right, but they don't have no substance. They just got a outward showing of them being holy, but inside you're not holy. You're not set apart. When someone come around you gossiping, do you tell, man, look, I don't want to hear that. Don't be talking about, go say that to his face. If it's true, why you don't go approach him and tell him that? So you have to see that this woman, this is the same woman, Mary Magdalene. She was forgiven much. That's the problem with a lot of us. A lot of us don't know how to tarry with people. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be missing out on a good thing because it don't look appealing to you, because it don't look like it's going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So, they just throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Like it's trash. You know what I'm saying? They just throw it away like it's trash, but they don't know how to tarry with people. You see what I'm saying? And so, I just want to, kind of, teach on this, man. That's why it's so important, for us to show mercy. You know what I mean? Because when you show mercy, mercy shall be shown unto you. And this is why, Mary Magdalene, who is this same woman that came back and put the ointment on his feet, and anointed his head, you know, that was a year's wage worth of work. You know what I mean? And this is why she did it, because she was thankful for that was her offering. You know, you can go back to Leviticus and read about the offerings that you were supposed to bring. You know what I mean? So she brought an offering, you know, for her deliverance, for being delivered. You were supposed to go back to the priest, which Yahusha was a high priest. He fulfilled that office as high priest, as prophet, as Messiah. You see what I'm saying? He fulfilled all three offices, and there's nobody else that ever did it. So, you know, he was able to show her mercy, because if you were going to stone this woman to death, then you need to be stoned too, because you know how many married women you don't slept with. You know how many women you don't slip the Mickey and, you know what I'm saying, got that thing, you know what I'm saying, without their knowledge. How many women you don't drugged up, you know, raped and stuff. Yeah, I mean, come on, man, the list goes on, man. You know, I don't have to get into all of it on this channel, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just, you know me, I'm gonna bring it raw and real. You know what I mean? So, you know, this is my message for today. Shabbat shalom.